Hey y'all, what's going on? So it's November 5th, and it's time to head to Missouri. Feeling a lot better about this year than I did last year. Last year I went pretty blind going in. We went up and did some work this earlier this year before the season started and planted some fields and put some cameras out. So feeling a lot better this time. More comfortable and familiar with the land and everything. So feeling pretty good. It's pretty early though, and it's like a 10 to 12 hour drive depending on how many times I stop. So I'm gonna go ahead and head on the road, and we'll see y'all when we get there.
Alright, y'all. So, I'm finally back in Missouri, and I'm sitting on my first spot of the trip. It's 8:30. My plan was to come in here on this part. It's a brand new lease that Josh and Mr. Rick picked up this year. They actually just picked it up recently. My plan was to come in here and scout it and just kind of take inventory of scrapes and rubs and just kind of get an idea of what deer are doing and how they're traveling through here. But Mr. Rick kind of convinced me to just sit instead. So here I am. I found a little spot that's I think it's a pretty decent spot for coming in here blind, not really knowing where any deer sign is. And again, like I spooked a deer coming in, so there's definitely a deer in here. But I'll show you kind of what I'm looking at. So I've got this big bottom right here. I'm literally right on the edge. Kind of comes uphill. It comes to a point right there. And then there's a drainage ditch that kind of goes up this way. It's pretty deep. Kind of goes up that way towards this field. And then this is like a little pocket of a field right here. And it looks like it's not been cut, so I bet there's some deer probably bedding in there. And then you've got all this over here, which has been cropped. It was corn. So, I don't know. There's definitely some trails and stuff going through here, but I don't see any rubs and definitely don't see any scrapes or anything, but I'm pretty limited on what I can see. There is a very high stem count in here of a bunch of like 2 to 3 foot tall like shrubs. It was super loud. It was super loud walking in here this morning. So I tried to be as quiet as possible, but it was just impossible. But I'm just kind of hoping that maybe they're using this funnel or this little bottom right here to feed. There's a lot of white oaks in here. Tons of white oaks. And then there's a little creek on the backside over there. So, I don't know. I feel like this is a pretty good spot for not knowing what all's in here. But I'm probably going to get down at probably 10 o'clock and slowly scout it and just kind of get an idea of what all kind of deer signs in here and see where maybe I want to set up this afternoon. But yeah, super glad to be back here in Missouri. Super thankful for Josh and Mr. Rick to let me come back up here. There's some big deer up here compared to Alabama, so I'm pretty pumped. And I've never seen that many deer on the side of the road that's been hit like I did coming up here last night. I mean, there were deer every couple hundred yards. So, and then this morning coming in here, I saw 6 does and 1 little buck. So it feels like there's deer everywhere. So I'm super hopeful. Just need to get on some sign and kind of see where they're at, what they're doing, and make me feel a bit more comfortable. Because right now I just feel like I'm just throwing a dart at the dartboard hoping someone walks by. And I don't like hunting like that. I'm a prepper and a planner. I want to know that there's a decent chance there's going to be a deer walk by. So, anyway, I'm going to shut up and get back to hunting. I'll catch y'all later. Alright, y'all. So it is 3:35, November 6th. This is my second sit, first afternoon sit. I got set up about, I don't know, an hour ago. Wanted to get in here kind of early, and already had a doe walk by at about 50 yards. So my plan was to make it to the corner, just because, you know, bucks love corners. I love scent checking corners. But I ended up seeing some bedded does in this little grass pocket in the woods. And so I didn't want to go to the field. I didn't want to go to the field. And so, because I knew I'd, you know, blow them out of there. So I backtracked and followed the creek all the way in. It was super loud, but it was far enough away and downwind that I thought it was worth the risk. And I had at least one doe walk by, so if nothing else, I've seen a deer, which is a positive. But as I got closer in here, I ended up bumping a deer, and it ran down towards the corner that I wanted to go to. And then as I was walking through, I noticed on this roadbed right here, right behind this pond, 3 really fresh scrapes. And that pond is pretty steep. I mean, they can go up it, obviously. But it does create a little bit of a barrier. Alright, a funnel, I should say. Because I have the creek behind me, and then that steep hill of the pond, plus the pond itself, which, you know, they can go up and down the hill, but they're not going to go through that water. So it creates like a little pinch point right through here. It's basically 50 yards in front of me to 50 yards behind me with 3 fresh grapes. And I'm downwind about 100 yards from the cut cornfield. So I imagine that's why these grapes are here. Those bucks are probably cruising through here, scent checking those fields, especially with the south wind. So, feeling pretty good about this spot. This one scrape right here is like 18 yards. The other one's about 30, the other one's about 35. So I don't know. Guess we'll see what happens. Alright, so we've got a natural funnel from that creek leading right up through here. We've got the creek that runs around this way. So all this right here is within shooting distance. And so if they don't cross the creek, if they use that creek as a boundary, then I've got all behind me. And then there's a roadbed that goes up that way, and it comes down right past that fence right there. And on that cedar right there, there's a huge, really fresh grape. And then right there is a fresh grape. And then right there is a fresh grape. And then that is a little pond. And then just on the other side of that pond is all the crops that were cut, and they had corn. So this is my little setup. So that funnel on this side of the pond, that pond kind of acts as a barrier to keep them between the pond and the creek. And then the wind is hitting me right in the face. So hopefully they travel this whole corridor right here to sit check that field. Alright, so it's 4:55. I've got 2 does to my 11 o'clock. Probably at about 100 yards. Just on the inside of the wood line for that cut cornfield. I don't know where the other one went. But deer are definitely on their feet. Hey, good morning, guys. So, it is day 2, November 7th. It's 6:52 right now, and I set up at a new lease, or not a lease actually, it's a family farm. But I set up out here this morning because I actually left one of my cameras out here when I came up in August, and there's been a lot of deer activity out here. Josh was able to come up last night and hunt today with me, so he's a couple hundred yards to my west. And he saw a decent little 120s buck on the field edge as he was walking in. So we didn't see any deer. It's like an hour drive over here. We didn't see any deer on the way over here, which is a little concerning. It's also not that cool. It's like 57 this morning. There's a little bit of a nip in the air, but I do like my little spot I got right here. I think bucks are gonna cruise by. I'm a little concerned they're gonna be a little too close, because I got a big creek bed behind me and just this little bitty bottom that I'm sitting in with the food plot to my left. I'm worried if they come to my right, am I gonna be able to get a shot off, because they're gonna be close. I need to pay attention. So, anywho, I'll let y'all know if I see something. Just had a spike run right by me. He's cruising hard. I didn't even have time to get my camera going. But it's a good time. The direction he went, it'd be really hard to get a shot, especially as fast as he was moving. Well, that kind of sucks. So it's at 8:32. I just had a buck walk up literally right there from behind me, downwind. Probably like a 120-inch 8-point. And he came from the field. He walked up like right there, stopped, and started nosing around, and then turned around and just walked that way in the field. So that's 2 buck encounters I've had with what I would consider a shooter. And So I don't know if I'm too close to where does could be bedded, and I need to back up some, or if I just need to hunt hard lines with the wind in my face to make sure that those bucks stay in front of me. So frustrating. Alright, y'all, so I want to apologize now. I have a windscreen on my GoPro, but it is very windy today. It's the afternoon at 3:16 on November 7th, and I jumped over to another one of their pieces of property, and so we got a west wind, so it's blowing from my 3 o'clock basically, and so my thoughts are, we've got this food plot right here. The wind's blowing from the left side, my left side of the food plot to the right side, into all that thick, dense cover, which I believe is probably where does are bedded. And they're going to probably stage so that they can move out into this food plot right at dark. It's been a really warm day. It was like 71 degrees today. It's starting to cool off, and that wind makes it feel a lot cooler too. But my hope is that these does are going to stage over here on the right side of the food plot, move into it, and maybe I'll get a buck, cruise that wood line, and come right here in front of me. It's kind of the best plan I have right here. This not lease, it's actually, they own it. It's like a rectangle, and it's long ways east to west. So any east wind or west wind is kind of difficult to hunt. You have to kind of get on the edge and parallel the wind. So that's what I'm doing. It's right here on the property line. There's a ladder stand right here to my back right, and there's a bunch of dense cover that way, which I am blowing towards, but kind of, a little bit. Not really, but kind of I am. It'll probably swirl and go that way, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. But I know that to the edge of this field is 30 yards, so I feel comfortable up to 50. So let's hope if they do come out in this field, they come on this side. Alright, y'all, good morning. So I'm back out here at Josh's property, and I'm actually sitting at a creek crossing right across from a food plot. But there's a cut cornfield to my northwest. And we got in here a little late this morning, but as I was setting up, I had two little bucks come through, which is pretty cool. They just meandered on off, didn't spook them or anything, so that's good. And the trail that they walked through was right here to my left. 25, 30 yard shot. So yeah, I like this spot. Alright, so that little buck came back through right here to my left, coming back the opposite direction. He's definitely on the hunt for some does. I got a feeling that this is going to be a tough spot. self-film. So if I don't get the shot, I'm sorry. Because I've got deer that came through on my right side, and deer coming through on my left side, and kind of behind me. So I honestly don't know what the best way for me to face is. So I'm just going to remain super vigilant. So that was a very interesting start to this hunt. I can't tell if that's a squirrel or a deer. Anyways, so as I'm walking up, this doe comes out right in front of me. And I can tell she's getting ready to hop the fence from the field. She's just cutting the corner. And so I squatted down real fast, took an arrow out, knocked it, put my release on, and then she started to walk out right in front of me, and I was gonna pop her. But I was in the middle of the field, so when she popped out, she saw me, and then she took off the other way. She never blew or anything. But I was like, okay. Like I'm right here at this little junction. Like it's a squirrel. So I'm right here at this little junction in this little pocket of woods. And as I'm putting my very first stick on, a little basket 7-point came from my right. I don't know what that is. A little basket 7 came from my right. Kind of where the doe went to. That's where it came from. And he kind of hopped the fence into the neighbor's field. And then he circled around and came back right to my left and then went out behind me. I may have been able to call him in a little bit closer and get a shot, but I was still on the ground. My bow was tied up. That's gonna be a deer. No, it's a squirrel. Okay, so anyways, my bow was tied up. I still had my backpack on. I had my sticks on my side, like getting ready to climb up the tree. So anyways, he takes off. So then I get in the tree, but I don't have any of my cameras set up. I just have my bow up because I always put my bow up first no matter what. Deer over video, always. And I had a little buck come out from in front of me. And he's like a little 4-point. And he started walking down probably 50 or 60 yards to my, like, 11 o'clock. And then he stopped. I thought he smelled me. Because right now, we have a southeast wind, which is facing me. But it's going to shift to northwest, completely opposite. And I thought maybe it already shifted. And, so anyways, he stood there for like 3 or 4 minutes. And then all of a sudden this big 8-point, probably 140 inch or so, was meandering around. So of course I was holding my bow already. But he just kind of stayed over there, and it's really thick. There's no way I could have got a shot. So I'd say this is a pretty good spot for now, but when that wind shifts, I don't know how that's gonna work out. But I'm hopeful. Dang it, man, those 2 bucks just chased a doe right across. I tried stopping them. Dang it, man. And now he's gonna be downwind of me. Alright, y'all. So, I'm pretty much sitting where I sat yesterday evening. It's extremely windy and extremely cold. It's supposed to be a hard northwest wind, but man, my wind is swirling. And so, I'm taking a risk because I feel like I'm blowing downwind. I did see a doe get up and scoot out when I came in. Hopefully that doesn't mean they're not coming back. Hopefully she can have that buck with her. I don't think they're locking down now, but they've definitely been chasing. But yeah, so church this morning and then back out here. It's like 33 degrees. There was a few snow flurries this morning, very subtle. But yeah, the wind's extremely heavy right now, so I'm about to put my little head cover back on because my ears are cold. But it's hard for me to talk with that on. But I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that they're going to come down this little thin strip of woods right there and hang out in front of me. I have a pinch point in the field right here. If I would have been sitting right here in the same tree yesterday, I would have killed that big buck. But the wind was different and the weather was different. So, we'll see. Hey, good morning, y'all. So it is very, very cold. It's 23 degrees this morning with a steady 9 to 13 mile an hour wind. And let me tell you, I feel like I'm in a great spot. I feel very confident. Man. It's Monday the 10th. 7:17. Hear that wind kicking up. Man, this is going to be an awesome sit. I'm going to probably sit all day long because I feel so confident about this spot. So the setup is I'm facing north. I've got a northwest wind. So the wind's blowing quartering to me. I've got this, well, let me back up. I've got this cut cornfield right behind me that does can beat in. Yeah, it's downwind, but it's fine. I've got this open area right here with a wood line in between the cornfield and this open field. It's just a grass field. Just CRB type stuff. And then I've got a pond about 50 meters, sorry, 50 yards. Same thing, but I've got a pond 50 yards to my right, which is where I sat behind the first afternoon when I had that 8-point come by. And I've got a bunch of brush to my left, a couple of cedar trees, where if deer come down that field, I can see them coming and get ready for the shot before they get into my window. And then I've got like an open path. Like, it's not, but it looks like a power line, if I had to explain. And so I imagine, and it's all woods on the back end of that, with the big creek that goes through it. So imagine bucks are going to be cruising up and down that strip of woods right in front of me. Or they may cruise right here in front of me, literally right on me. this field and those woods. So I felt very confident. The only thing behind me is the cornfield. And there is enough room for a buck to cruise that little patch of woods right behind me, but it's like 15 yards. So in that case, let's hope it doesn't happen, because it's going to be kind of a difficult shot to film. That's the thing about self-filming, is that you got to try to get the camera and the shot all at the same time, which is fairly easy if it's in front of you and you can quickly move the camera. But when you have to turn the camera 360 degrees or 180 degrees around, that makes it really hard to get the film on shot. Plus, with it being that close, I don't think I'll be able to adjust the camera and make the shot. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna shut up now and go on, and also put my face cover on because it's cold. Alright, so that buck just started about 100 yards in front of me and moved his way from right to left. I feel like I'm in a beautiful spot. I just gotta really pay attention. But there's a pond right here. There's this open field here. All the hardwoods are that way. And my back is to this cut cornfield. I got a northwest wind all day. I genuinely don't think my setup could be any better. I've got a shot everywhere in front of me. I got tons of cover to my left. But enough to where I can see if a buck's coming and get ready for the shot. This is gonna be awesome. So that was pretty cool. Had two does come up, and then that little buck. Sorry, my tree's squeaking. But it's a good sign. It's 7:30 and I've already seen two does and two bucks. I am liking my chances. Same two does came back. love some toast. Well, that was interesting. So it's 8:42. I was sitting here looking down at my Tideway heated vest, trying to turn it on because it's starting to get even colder. And I look up and literally 15 yards in front of me, a little basket, like 8-point, I guess. I was just standing there. Had no idea I was right here. Gotta pay more attention. Whew, that got my adrenaline going. When I first saw him, I just saw a rack and I was like, oh. And it is cold. Is that a deer? I don't think so. I've been seeing deer like crazy. But it's been, I think, the same two does in that little 8-point. Just running back and forth. But my goodness, it's so cold. I've got like 15 layers on. Plus by the time we heated fast, turned all the way up. And I'm still cold. And I still have 5.5 hours to go. Hey guys, good morning. So, yesterday morning was pretty eventful. Yesterday afternoon, I didn't see a thing. After like 2:30, I didn't see nothing. So, I go home tomorrow, Thursday, so tomorrow's my last day to hunt. So I'm sitting very aggressively this morning. Yesterday morning, all those bucks came from, literally, it would be a 30-yard shot to my right. The wind shifted though, we have a south wind. So it's blowing from where I was sitting to where the bucks were. So now I'm on the opposite side of that. You know, bucks usually travel with the wind quartering to. So a south wind is directly from my right to left. So I should have bucks coming from my 10 or 11 o'clock or my 7 or 8 o'clock. But either way, somewhere on my left. So I'm feeling pretty good. I have no choice but to sit aggressive this morning because I gotta make something happen. I can't go 4 years out of state in a row and not kill anything. So if I see a doe, I'm not waiting. I'll wait a minute or two, but I'm gonna shoot. And then, obviously, a certain size of a buck, so I'm not gonna shoot a little buck like that little 8-point yesterday. So yeah, that's where we're at. Alright, y'all, so didn't see a thing this morning. So I'm back out here. Tomorrow's my last day to hunt. And I don't know. Hunting up here in the Midwest, it's just so different. And I'm just so ignorant. It's very frustrating. I don't know, I'm sitting here facing this little, I call it the hidey hole field, because there's a big cut cornfield, a long strip of woods, and then another cut cornfield, a long strip of woods, and another cut cornfield. And so we got a southwest wind, which is coming from that way, well, more that way. So I mean, really, this should be the absolute perfect setup. But what I'm worried about is I feel like these deer over here, so we pulled the SD cards and some of the SD cameras that my buddy had out. And they've been chasing for like 2 weeks now. And then what I saw yesterday morning just makes me think that they're all locked down with does or something. I don't know. can't kill them on the couch. But I can't seem to kill them out here either. And you may notice a ladder stand. I don't like ladder stands. Number one, I don't feel safe in them. Number two, obviously you can tell that I'm a lot higher. I'm probably about 5 or 6 feet higher than that ladder stand. And I like to be high, especially in a situation like this, because I want my wind to kind of be up before, or so that it can kind of traverse this little patch of woods to my right. Of course, thermals are dropping down, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Got something over here. I think it's a doe. I don't know where she went. I just lost it. I don't know if that's a doe or if it's a little button bug, just the way it was hitting that screen. Hey, we're finally seeing some deer. This is fun. So I guess the farmer decided he was gonna come plow the hottie hole field. I've got 2 big toes. buzzing over here. Man, I do not want to go home empty-handed. There is a really, really fresh grape about 20 yards upwind of me. I've got a bunch of brush right here to my left in this tree, a bunch of overhanging branches. So really good cover for no leaves, obviously. But I've got a nice little pocket to shoot through. I've got this big creek drainage right here to my right. Feel pretty good. Wind's coming from my west, which is to my left. So I'm facing north. Feeling very good. Oh, she's going down. Yes! Smoked a doe, baby. Oh boy, I smoked her. Let's go, baby. Yes. I'm not going empty-handed. Yes. My goodness, that's a big doe. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna knock another arrow because there could be a buck that comes by. Man, I smoked that doe. My goodness. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. All glory goes to you, Lord. Forever and ever, amen.
Alright, y'all, so just went to take my stuff back to my truck and put my truck down here close to the field. Now I'm gonna go track this big doe. Finally found the arrow. It's like blending in. You can see it right there. It is covered in blood. I mean, like the whole entire shaft is bloody. I think that was a heart shot because she ran right up to the top of that hill and then just tumbled down. So, problem is now the blood's dry and the sun's like hitting this just right. All right, I'm gonna mark this, put my phone down, and try to hurry up and get her out of here because it's getting kind of warm. There she is. Fortunately, my truck's right there, so it's not too bad. But it's pretty thick in here. But my goodness, she is a big doe. Man. Little front on the shoulder, but thank you, girl. All right, y'all, so finally made it back home, got all my stuff put back. Man, that was a really, really long week. I finally broke my streak of no out-of-state kills. Disappointed a little bit that I was just a doe, but hey, maybe this is breaking the ice, and maybe next year that just means I'm gonna be more successful. So super happy, super exhausted, so I'm gonna go get some sleep. Appreciate y'all sticking around for this long video and hope you enjoy it. Catch y'all later.